question on this podcast is, what are your values in the context of your story? So,
Which story?
your life story.
My values. Oh, there's a lot of them.
Well, so I won't ask directly what are your values, but that's what I'm trying to do, guys. We'll just have a conversation, and then I'll try to steer it towards the direction that shows the values. But yeah, so right now we are on the sunrise or just post sunrise kayak.
Yeah.
We had a vision board. What were some of the date ideas on our vision board? We had a vision board of different dates. This is sunrise kayak.
I'm trying to think. We had Turkish tea.
Turkish tea. That was, I think, the first one we did.
Camping. Paddleboarding. You know what? I value trying new things.
Yeah, honestly, I think the vision board is a good little. It's a good example of like the values of our relationship. Since it was fun. It's I'll put a picture into when I edit this of the vision board. But yeah, you colored it. We made it. It was just like we got markers and colored it out. Had a bunch of different activities on it.
I like doing the things that I think is fun with you, and the things that you think is that didn't make sense. And doing the things that you think is fun. So like when you add things to the vision board, like the Turkish coffee, I want to do it because I want to do like things that you think is fun, and actually I think it's fun too once I do it, and then vice versa.
Yeah, it was fun. I don't even know how many things were on the vision board. Maybe like 8 or 10, but we each picked half of them.
Yeah.
And it's been cool.
Yeah.
I'm headed to New York, leaving to Bellingham today, and then I'll be in New York for 2 months.
Yeah.
But we kind of knew that I was gonna be gone, and so we made this vision board. Tried to get as many of them done before I take off as possible. But today's last day. This was the hardest one to get, I think, because we had to wake up at 5 a.m. to get up for the sunrise.
I'm not a morning person.
Yeah, I am, but I don't know. 5 a.m. is 5 a.m.
Yeah, since you're leaving, I feel like a big value of mine is obviously like time spent together with like people that you value in your life.
Yeah, quality time.
Yeah. You're a good paddler here. Not paddler.
Yeah, I'm just sort of. I don't even have a destination right now.
Yeah, we're going into the street. That's my destination.
Yeah.
Well, what's your values?
My values? I mean, as it pertains to this activity, it's a lot of what you said. Like, there's the love languages. I always think quality time is like the love language that speaks the most to me. They all kind of apply to everyone, I think, but that's the one that stands out. And yeah, I think that's we've been having a good time together. We spent a lot of quality time together.
Wait, I kind of forgot that the podcast itself was on the vision board.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So we're really getting 2 birds stoned at once right here.
2 birds stoned at once. This is the vision board. I'm living the vision.
Yeah.
Double fisting. We got podcasting in one hand, and then sunrise kayaking in the other.
Yeah. Part of what I think is cool about the podcast is that it's kind of like a little mini time capsule. It's like a journal entry, you know. It's like a time capsule of like what's going on a specific date.
Yeah.
But I think we both got a lot going on in the next couple of weeks, so it'll be interesting to look back at this video down the road and see where we were at. I'm gonna say, since I'm headed to Denver today, New York next week, I'll be there for probably 2 months or so, and you're headed to Nashville in 2 weeks, something like that. But yeah, what are you hoping to get out of moving to Nashville?
I've just only ever lived in Washington, so I think it'd be fun to check out a new state. I have no idea, like, well, I'm hoping to also get maybe like experience from and like employment. Obviously, like I think that there's more opportunity over there.
What
I have a
employment are you looking for?
You didn't let me finish.
Well, it's just
I have a teaching degree and I just graduated, and there's just like not as many job openings in Washington. Like they're there, but there's also more competition because Washington's ranked #1 teaching, like salary wise, and then not Tennessee is ranked 42nd. So I'm
nice.
moving from the first ranked state to teach into the 42nd. Wow. But there's so many like job openings. There's people like working jobs I'm certified to teach without any certifications. So I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna be at the top of the pond over there. I got my degree. And then just like getting experience. So then if I ever move back to state #1, then at least I have like some sort of like more experience than I have now. If like
Yeah.
I feel like I could gain employment there.
Go conquer state number 42, and then you'll be in a position to work your way up.
That'd be crazy if then I went to 41 and then I went to 40 for a year.
You just move 42 times over the next 42 years.
And then I could live in almost
And then eventually you could end up
states.
in Washington.
Yeah, and then 42,
42
years later.
What is it about teaching that, like, why did you choose that as your major? Why did you pursue that path?
Well, I think that it's a job where you get to like be like creative with it, because you get to present the content and that you're given in like any like like any way you want, any domain you want. Like you kind of get more creativity with that job than I feel like a lot of people like imagine. If I want to teach like anything, I don't know, I'll give you an example, like math, I could teach it however I want, like in like multiple different ways for multiple different people. Like I could do like a like literally anything, like a musical. I'm not gonna do a musical, but I could do a magical math musical.
That is cool.
And it's
I
just
do think
fun.
you're very creative like that. Like,
And it's like honestly, it's like it's like an entertainer, but it's like easier to like. There's so many, but you're just an entertainer. You have to keep, especially with the younger grades. Like you just have to be entertaining.
yeah.
Like you just have to be like a comedian, like actress.
So you like the performance side of teaching. You feel like you can make a difference, and you get to kind of lean into that performance.
Yeah, and I also like being able to be in the teaching field with the background of because I've also majored in special education, and when I was in the education system, I constantly had my like ADHD and like I don't know, like different like mistaken for behavior problems. So it's like I literally like I'm not trying to like in first grade and second grade I was constantly in the hallway because, and it's not even like I swear like I was being good, like I swear I swear I like but then they wouldn't get it, and then they would like teach it to me over and over again, and like they think I'm not paying attention or I don't even know, and I am, I'm just not looking at you, I'm just like I don't know, like bobbing up and down. And it's like, I don't have my pencil out because I forgot where it went and I lost it. One time in first grade, I think I told you this story, did I? About my spelling test, and like my teacher called my mom and was like, your kid has a problem. And like, and my mom was like, my kid doesn't have any problems. And then she came and watched me function. Did I tell you that?
No.
Okay, and then there's a spelling test at the same time. Okay, and then they said, get your paper out, and everyone's getting their paper out, and my desk is was disgusting. And I don't know where my paper is. And everyone has their paper out. I'm still searching for my paper. And everyone's like, and then the teacher's like, get your pencil out. And everyone's getting their pencil out, and I still don't even have my paper out yet. And then they're like, date and name your paper and number it. And everyone's doing that. And I don't even have my paper yet. I'm still digging for my paper. And then I get my paper, and then people are already numbering it. And then I have to go back into my desk for a pencil. So then I go get a pencil, and the test has already begun. And then by the time I get my pencil, I'm ready to number the thing, and the test is over. So at home, when I'd be practicing my spelling words, my mom was always so confused because I would know all of them and be able to rattle them all off, but then I'd get a 0 on every single test because I never could start the test in time because I didn't know where my materials were. And it's like, I feel like see so many people like that, or like kids that have like other things that, not that exactly, but just like anything. And then like sometimes like people like just, they're not like accommodated for, or like people just are like, this kid's annoying, I hate them.
Yeah, so it's like, do you feel like that kids that kind of end up with like a label, like annoying kid or class clown?
And it's like, I'm not saying that I never give them labels too. I feel like everyone labels anyone, or everyone, especially like at least in your head. But then it's like, you just have to look past it, you know?
Yeah.
And try to like
look for a solution rather than
not
just
like cement that label.
Yeah, rather than just saying, oh, we got a label and there's nothing to do about it. You gotta be solutions oriented.
Yeah. I think we got a little off topic.
Yeah, look, so we're talking a little bit about last night, but we're at kind of a weird time right now since we're moving to Nashville, I'm moving to New York. We're gonna make it work, but this is gonna be the first time we've done long distance. We've been dating since October. Right now it's August, so I don't even know, is that 10 months? Yeah.
10 months, huh? Oh, I thought you said we were doing long distance.
No, hopefully
not. That'd be horrible. We're gonna look back at this and be like, oh.
But yeah, like when you think about going long distance for 2 months, what do you think it'll take to make it work?
I think obviously just like communication.
Communication.
Yeah. I
think communication has been something that's important to both of us. Just like that's something we value highly. What do you think it takes to have good communication in a relationship? What do you think what does that look like?
At first I was like taking the question of what does it take? I was like, I'm just gonna, what was this? Word it how you did the second time.
Like what? If you're thinking of having good communication in a relationship, what is that like? What types of patterns are there? What is that? What does good communication mean to you in the context of a relationship?
Having a set, like, we have expectations that we have already like communicated to each other, and taking those expectations and following them. I don't know if that answered the question.
Yeah, I also just think kind of like being blunt and honest is important, even if like
that is so important.
Even if there's something that like I don't want to get into, or I don't know, it's just like if someone's got something in their head and they're not explaining it, it's like affecting the other person, even if you. I feel like for me that's an important one.
Or if something is communicated indirectly, I don't really appreciate that because sometimes it'll just go straight over my head.
Yeah.
You have to like be like so direct. I just prefer that.
Yeah, I think so too. It's like you don't want to be when you're dropping signals.
It's like,
you never know if like it's getting
pick
picked up the same way you're trying to drop it off. Yeah, I agree. I think it comes down to communication in a long distance setting. Just making sure we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Checking in. What are you looking forward to about Nashville? Just like aside from work, like, are you looking forward to the music, to food, to?
I'm not sure yet. I think maybe I'll try to find like a Pilates studio or something. I kept joking to a couple of people that I'm going to Nashville. I'm starting my country music career, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't know how to sing. I don't got a guitar, so I don't know how you're supposed to start your country music career. And like I was saying, I was moving to Nashville because I think I can handle the competition in the teaching world. I don't think I can handle the competition in the country music world.
Yeah, that's the key to the competition then.
It's a big pond. And we're on a lake. Well, so it wouldn't even be a pond. That's like an ocean over there for that. I don't even know.
You're super into music. Like that was when we first started dating. It stood out to me immediately. But like, and you danced growing up.
Yeah. We're zooming.
What is it about music that, like, do you like the beat? Do you like do you feel like it gives you energy?
I like the beat. I like the. I'm just a ladybug.
That's your bug.
I love ladybug. I like the beat. I like the rhythm. I like different songs resonate with me if I like the lyrics and words. I also really like. I think something that we differ with on music. I like music that the words have like deeper meaning than what it's just saying. But I like a lot of songs that are like super literal.
Yeah,
like,
I like the abstract ones.
I know, like literally that says it how it is. Like even like that one Mike song that's like I take it to the ball game. I'm watching one of my dogs play. Like they're just like standing like they're just like literally at the ball game, and it's like never mind. You can cut this part out.
No, I mean I think it goes in. I think that ties into what you're saying about the communication, just like being direct is super.
But important. I also like non-literal. I also really like I like bass in song. Like I really like drum and bass, and like that's my favorite subgenre of electronic dance music. This little acronym spelled out EDM. I love some good drum and bass. Okay, I have a question. When you hear music, do you like what do you? Because when I hear music, well, it depends on like the song, but for most songs, I always like picture choreography in my brain. Do you?
Not at all. I'm all about the lyrics. Like I've been dabbling with making music, and like it wasn't until I even started trying to do music that I realized like I never pay attention to the background. Like I just only listen to the lyrics.
I like to listen to the same song a million times, and I'll focus on a different like layer of the song each time.
Do like drums one and then guitar next. Like that. Yeah. See, I don't do that. I'll listen to the lyrics and then like eventually like some line that didn't make sense to me will make sense to me, and that's what I get out of it. But I will say, as I've got more into music over the last few years, I have gotten much more into like the actual instrumental piece that's going on. Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna turn so that it's on the camera. The sun is coming out.
Not yet.
We missed sunrise by like 20 minutes, but because of the mountains, I think we're still gonna catch it coming out.
There's some rays, yeah. Okay, there's like this one like YouTube series. I used to watch it all the time. I'm actually gonna, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna try to look for it because I really liked watching it because what it was is a bunch of different like choreographers, and they all are given the same like song, and then they all choreograph like the same part of the song, like obviously in separate rooms, and then when they're all done, like they're all given the same amount of time, they all do their piece, and it's so interesting to see how different people like interpret the songs and like what part of the beats this person chooses to like play off of and use in the dance, and then like, and it's so weird because they'll like do such unique and different choreographers. It's like you have like one guy that specializes in hip hop, you got like a little like ballerina over here, and like how she'll choreograph and interpret like the choreography, or if you have like a performance heels like more of a sensual dancer, like how she'll like interpret and choreograph like compared to like this guy that's really good at hip hop, or this girl that's really good at hip hop, or like a jazz funk, or just like even if they're like diverse, just like seeing what beats that they're picking up and what like comes natural to them when like they're making like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of cool?
If you're watching someone dance, can you like usually see what part of the music they're paying attention to? Like if they're
Yeah,
paying attention.
sometimes because whatever like beat they're or like whatever like moves they're doing that are like hitting on like what you know what I mean?
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
I don't experience
We're
that at
gonna we
all.
should watch that like see if there's more if they probably it's probably still a thing. I haven't watched it in so long, but I used to always love watching them like
What's it called?
I forgot.
What?
3 choreographers, 1 song. It's probably called something like that. I don't know. Am I splashing you with the water?
Nah, the water's in the kayak though. I'm a little wet.
I'm warm. When we like first were going, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be so cold.
Yeah, it's not that cold. It's just early.
Yeah.
I really do like the nature out here. That's my favorite part of Bellingham.
Yeah. I'm probably might have to end up back here.
Yeah. What? So you grew up in Kent, Washington, which is outside of Seattle. It's much more
South
urban
yeah.
than Bellingham. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's similar climate, same state, so there's some similarities. But
Yeah, it's only 2 hours away.
yeah, 2 hours away. But just in terms of like the nature, how long have you been in Bellingham? Now? 4 or 5 years?
5 years. Wait,
5 years.
yeah, 5 years. Well,
5
almost.
years.
I've been here since 2019.
Okay, so yeah, 5 years.
But
20,
then
24.
Yeah, like 4 or 5 years. Yeah.
So in that time, like, what have you noticed? Like I mean, to me, the biggest difference is the nature and like the access to trails and kayaking. Like we got here.
I mean, there's a ton of lakes out there,
Ton of
but
lakes.
these lakes they're.
Would you
I
go
mean,
to the
I'm
lake a
biased,
lot?
but I think these lakes are like better. What?
Did you go to the lakes a lot when you lived in Kent?
Like I would go, yeah, in the summers. Like in Bellingham, I would like if the lake wasn't frozen, if the lake's not frozen over, like I'm in it.
Yeah.
Like, but in Kent, I feel like I only ever really went in the summer.
Yeah, you were on the water ski team.
Oh
in
yeah.
School.
I know, I did join that.
I've talked to a few different athletes and people on this.
It's so flattering to be in the pool of
Yeah,
you calling me an athlete.
you're a collegiate athlete.
Let's go.
But whether you're dancing, whether you're well, first of all, is there similarities between dancing and water ski, just in terms of like?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, did you kind of get in that same sort of zone?
I noticed that the people that have a dance background and are water skiing, like typically really gravitate towards like the trick ski because it's very similar movement and like how you're moving. Like we're used to like if you have like a classic dance background of like doing turns and like leaps and just like different technical moves. When you're learning different tricks on a trick ski, you'll notice that it's like your body has to do like the exact same things that it has to do for like a turn as it has to do for like a side slide or like a back or just like so people I noticed that have a dance background, it's like they're quicker to like getting certain moves on the trick ski.
Is it so? I don't have a dance background. I'm coming from, and I don't do water ski. But if I did do water ski, coming from like a ball sports and martial arts background, do you think I would gravitate towards something other than trick ski? Like maybe what's the other one? Slalom.
Slalom.
Is that
yeah,
more like an
where you
athletic,
go
less
around the
choreographed?
balls where they're buoys, but
Yeah, so that's probably more.
sounds like speed, need for speed.
Yeah, I
You
don't.
just gotta like keep your hips up and.
Sounds more of like about athleticism, less about like the choreography.
I mean, they're both like athleticism, I would say.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say like. I mean, I guess the choreography. When you use that word, I never thought about that with water skiing, but I guess that's true because people have like in tournaments, people will like come up with a trick run that they're gonna do to like, oh, if I do this run, I'll guarantee this amount of points. So I guess it totally is like a choreographer. Like even when I go, I'll be like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do like side slide, like left side slide, right side slide, like I don't know, like a back. Then I don't. Like you totally, yeah.
Yeah. I always think there's a choreography to that. Like anything where you've got a specific plan. You know, like if I'm playing soccer, there's not a specific plan. I'm trying to get the ball in the net, and so I know like, oh, if the ball goes up the field, that's bad. If it gets behind me, or if it goes up the field, it's good. If it gets behind me, it's bad. But so I have a general. But for me, I've always struggled with choreography when there's a specific way it's supposed to happen. Like I'm not good at rehearsing. I'm good at like practicing my skills to react in the moment. But when I'm like planning rather than reacting, it gets difficult for me.
Yeah.
But anyways, like, so when you're skiing or when you're dancing, like, do you kind of end up in that flow state, like when you're really in it? Like, do you experience that? Maybe that's a big one.
Yeah, I don't know, probably.
Do you feel like what do you when you're in the middle of when you're skiing, you're getting pulled by the boat
And dancing.
Everything's clicking. Like,
even
what does
like,
it feel like?
especially like a performance, I would say adrenaline.
Adrenaline.
Yeah.
Do you get adrenaline dancing?
Oh yeah, especially like performing.
Yeah.
Like if it's at a competition, I remember I'd always get so nervous. I'm like, what if I fall on my face and ruin everything?
Do you like that adrenaline?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. I'm definitely adrenaline.
I love adrenaline.
My buddy just got he's a beekeeper. He got stung by a bee on his face, and he had whatever the reaction is, but he had got an EpiPen, which is just straight adrenaline. He used to tell me about just experiencing raw adrenaline like that. I was like, damn, I kind of want an EpiPen.
Oh my god, that's weird.
But yeah, I've always liked it.
You know, this is about EpiPen when you're allergic to something. Wait, run it back. He's a beekeeper, but he's allergic to bees?
Well, he's been stung before, but he never had a reaction until this most recent time.
That's crazy.
He got stung on the face, which
be allergic to bees.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't know he was allergic. But yeah, that does suck. Like, now he has all these bees I used to deal with.
Time for a new occupation.
But when he got stung, he wasn't wearing the mask and stuff. So,
have you ever worn one of those bee suits? I have for my second grade science project.
I haven't, but I think I will when I'm in Colorado. It's the guy James.
Okay.
So on Monday, I'm gonna check out his setup. But I definitely want to get in the bee suit and get in there and see what it's like.
So you probably already told me this, but it just flew over my head. So you're going to New York today, right? You're flying straight there, and then are you flying to Colorado or vice versa?
I'm going to Denver today.
Going to Denver
and then
today.
On Tuesday I'm going to New York.
Okay.
So yeah, next week going to New York. So yeah, I'll hang out with Zoe, my sister, and my buddy James in Colorado for a few days. And then head to New York. I'm in transition right now.
Actually, I don't know why I didn't flip the question on you. What are you hoping to get out of your adventure of going to New York and your little trip that you're doing?
Yeah, it's I mean, honestly, I'd say part of it is I just like being in a big city. Like Bellingham's pretty small, and I'm into a lot of niche things. So there's a couple of modalities of training that I'm into, where there's this one system called foundation training, and there's only one certified foundation trainer in Bellingham, NSR, and yeah, she's not that great. I love the system, and honestly, a not great trainer with that system, I've still found it valuable. But there will be some of the best trainers from that system in New York. And there's a couple other systems. There's muscle activation techniques, MAT, where I don't know. I get really into these specific things, jiu-jitsu, and then I'm in Bellingham. There's not there's ways to do it and be involved, but it's not I don't know. There's just really niche interest there, so that's part of it. But mostly it's about the career. I've been a trainer the last 2 years, which I love. I haven't made a lot of money doing it. And so I'm gonna be staying with my buddy who works at a startup. That was what I did before I was a trainer, but not really. It was like a rinky-dink startup, and he's working for a big fancy startup. So I kind of want to see what that world's like. I know what it's like to be a trainer, but yeah, basically, I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do. I want to pursue my hobbies, my super niche hobbies, which I can do in New York, and then I want to get a feel for the startup world, compare that to the training world. But yeah, if I basically yeah, with my career, I gotta if I'm gonna be a trainer, I gotta like fully commit, which I haven't done yet because I've been hesitant to commit to something that's not super stable like that. Like if there's a recession or something, like no one's paying their personal trainer. If there's a recession, people are always going to need teachers. So I don't know. So I can make it work, but it's not easy. It's not like you really have to grind. So I don't know. I know I'm gonna have to enter a phase where I just grind for a while, and I just want to make sure that my energies are aligned, so that when I grind, I'm actually like doing something that I'm excited about.
Do you ever think that teachers are going to be replaced by AI?
I mean, maybe to an extent. Like, maybe I'd say at first it'll be augmented.
Yeah,
like you'll. But it's I don't know. I think it's gonna be hard for humans to just like mindlessly follow robots. But I don't know.
I don't even talk to robots on the phone, like on the automated messages. I hate it. I'm like, I want a representative now. I don't want to talk to a robot.
Yeah.
I hate robots. Well, that's weird to say. I hate robots. I take it back. I don't
What is that's kind of interesting. What is it about like?
I don't want to talk to a robot.
But what is it that bothers you? Is
I don't know.
Like,
I just like it's like programmed, and it's like, what if I don't have this? None of the things that you're rattling off your list are what I want to ask, and you're wasting my time rambling off your list. Like, just give me a human.
Yeah.
And I don't want to talk to a robot. It's not listening to me. Well, it is.
So you like being heard? I think I should say that too, just from my experience.
Yeah.
With you, it's important to be heard.
Would you ever say? I was like thinking about this when you were talking, and then we got into something else. But I was gonna ask it when you were done talking, but then you didn't. Well, then we
kept rambling.
Are you saying I'm just rambling now? Yes, I am. But would you ever say? I would say this, like in my perception. Would you ever say that there's certain hobbies and you shoot? I had the word in my head. What's it called? You hyperfixate on certain hobbies, and then you'll like stop and go to something else, and then hyperfixate on like jujitsu, like for a few months. Would you say that's like a hyperfixation? And then you find a different niche hobby you like, and then like you're hyperfixating on that, and then you like go back to jujitsu.
Yeah, definitely. I do that pretty chronically.
I know when we like first started dating, that was something that I definitely noticed, and I was like, oh no, what if I'm a hyperfixation and you're just gonna hyperfixate on me, which could still be a reality, but but I always thought that like this guy seems like he hyperfixates on things, and I don't want to be a hyperfixation.
Yeah, we'll say like I do jump from one thing to another, but like it always ends up related. Like when I was a kid, I was obsessed with baseball cards. Like I literally had like 40 or 60,000 baseball cards.
Oh my god.
I was very hyper fixated, which I'm no longer, but I still read baseball stats. Like every time there was at a game, I still read the stats, which is like the same as the stats on the back of a baseball card, you know. So it's like I'm no longer have the same hyperfixation. Now I'm more like, let's just say, generally fixated on sports in the sports world. But so it changes over time. Right now I'm into jiu-jitsu. I had previous hyperfixations on Muay Thai and brief karate fixation. So I kind of like dropped karate, but like I didn't really drop it. Like I still like think about those concepts sometimes when I'm doing jiu-jitsu. I still think about them. So it's over time. Like I dropped karate and got into jiu-jitsu. So you could say I like moved on from one hyperfixation to the next, but they're related. I feel like they kind of just build off of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The sun still hasn't like.
I know we did it perfect. I thought we were late.
Yeah, it still hasn't popped up, but I feel like a little raised.
I know it's by the time we're heading back, I think it'll be like beginning of the day. I've always felt that, like, I don't know if it's just since I'm from a city on the East Coast where there's pretty much no, like, the nature that they have is like humans planted it at some, humans planted the tree, you know.
Yeah.
Where it's different here, where it's just like raw, old growth forest. But it'll never get old for me. Same thing, like looking at a pretty lady, it'll never get old for me. Like, I can see the same view every day for years. I noticed that for the first time when I lived in Tahoe. That was like the first time I was somewhere scenic on the west, and I was there for about 3 years. But every single time I saw that lake, it made, like, I felt something, like, and it never went away. Like, when I first moved there, I thought, like, oh, this is so sick, but like once I get used to it, it's not gonna be that crazy. But I don't know if it's just since I'm from a city, if I never get used to it. But do you feel that, like, you're from out west? I mean, you're from a city, but still, it's like there's so many mountains and trees. Like, do you notice? Do you feel it, or are you just kind of is that just what you know, so you don't think about it that much?
I mean, I like mountains and everything, and like that's why I don't even want to move from them. But yeah, I would say yeah.
It's gonna be weird. This is the last day in Bellingham together.
Well, we'll probably come back.
Oh yeah, last day.
I'll be back.
I will be too, but it's a little eerie. One thing I've thought that's kind of interesting in our relationship is, like, we've got a little age gap. I'm 27, you're 23, but one of my sisters is like a little older. Maggie's like 24 or something, and then so just growing up, like, I noticed that technology changed a lot, just like in the couple years before me, a couple years after me, like, because I really think just the iPhone, honestly, really smartphones in general, like, they came around and, like, changed the world, and I was kind of like becoming an independent person, like, a little bit before everyone had smartphones. Like, I don't know, like a teenager, like, before I had a smartphone, and you weren't really expected to have an iPhone, or you weren't, you know, like, some people were still calling house phones and stuff like that when I was in high school. But
I still call house phones.
yeah, but like some people didn't have cell phones, or I don't know. There was no Snapchat, like, until I was
either when I was in, like, elementary, middle school.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just like Instagram. Like, even Instagram was like something that I always felt like younger people used.
And you had Tumblr.
Yeah, I was like, there was Tumblr and
MySpace.
Yeah, I actually never had a MySpace but yeah, that was like a lot of my friends were having MySpaces, and some of my friends still, like, are on Facebook. Like, that's like the main app. Like the way I think of it is, like, Facebook is like what?
Like Craigslist.
Yeah, it's just like old. Yeah.
I use Facebook as Craigslist.
Yeah, it's just old time. But that was it. That was like the big new cool thing when I was in high school. But
I'd say the main difference is you can get places without a GPS, and I can't. That's it.
That's the main difference.
That's it. I don't use a map. Well, I use a map that tells. Well, I use a map. I use navigation.
Do you notice, like more social differences? Like, do you think that, like, culturally, we think of our phones differently and just technology in
I
general.
definitely know that, or I'm confident that technology has shortened attention spans.
Do you think that like just in like
Especially like TikTok, you have like 7, even like right now, sometimes it's like, okay, like let's,
yeah
like my attention span is definitely affected by technology. I feel like, especially just like being so used to watching like little, like TikTok and like Instagram. I don't have TikTok anymore, but I still watch 7-second videos on like Instagram Reels. Um, and it's like just a short amount of things to look at a content, and then swipe on to the next. Like it's even hard. I feel like unless it's a really interesting show or movie, I'm like doing other things like while watching it. Like it's really hard to lock in and focus on that for an entire duration of time.
yeah it's I've definitely noticed that too. It's and I always just felt like people that like people that were 2 grades below me. I don't even want to do the math on how many grades below me. um, you're probably 4 grades below me. But
Yeah,
I graduated 2015. Which year? 2019.
2019, so
Yeah,
far.
4. But I always felt like the grade below me like had a pretty similar relationship with technology. But the grade 2 below me, which was like people were sophomores when I was senior, I always like I remember looking at those sophomores. And I was friends with some of them, you know. But I just felt like they had a different like they just use technology different. They thought of their phones differently. Like for me, I still feel like guilty going on like I like using the social medias. Like it was or even texting. Like it was I remember like there was a time where it was like only like the like those kids that go to the mall, and like hang out at the mall. Like I was always like hanging out in an alley or something like that. But there was like the people that go to the mall and the people that like to have nice shoes and stuff like that.
Okay.
Like the people who are hip. I was not like really hip like that, but
I think I was hip like that.
yeah, I think you were. But yeah, like I always felt like it was like those were the types of people that text, and now I'm the type of person that hikes.
What's
I
wrong
don't
with being
text.
that type of people? You said you feel guilty. You don't want to be a hip.
Well, I
You're
guess
like, I
I
don't
guess
want
I
my
felt like that
reputation
clashed
to
with
be
my
hip.
identity. But I just not guilty, but I felt like it clashed with my
I
identity.
feel like you can have like multiple. I feel like, not multiple identities, but like, and I feel like identity can be more complex than that.
Yeah.
It's not so simple, so black and white.
Yeah.
You can be that hip mall person, but then also not be a different thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's boring to be the same. Well, like be the same person every day. Yes, do that, but like to do the same types of things. I don't know. I like to experience a lot of like all the different. Like I experienced going to the mall, experience online shopping, and versus going to an actual store. Oh, literally, I was talking to old ladies. Or that sounds weird, but like a group of nice old ladies at work, and they were talking. They emailed me this website. I forgot to look at it, but they thought it was so cool. They were like, technology has expanded so much, and they all had these like glasses on, and I also thought it was crazy. They could tell I was wearing contacts. I was like, wow, you can see that. They were like, you should try this website. I guess what it does is, I feel like I've heard of it, but they were acting like it was the coolest thing ever, which it is very cool. Your face, it can go on the website, and then like, so your face is displayed, right? And you can try on, like different glasses on your face, like on the online screen, and then you just order it to your house. And they were talking about how crazy they thought that was, and how they'd never anything like that until like now. And they were like, you should try this website. And like that's what I mean. Like, well, I don't know. I kind of got off topic, but like experience like using a home phone. I experienced that when I don't know. It's like all the different. Well, it's like I'm not gonna churn my own butter. Well, maybe one day. That'd be a fun experience. Anyways, I'm getting off topic.
Sometimes I honestly do feel like the butter churning days were peak humanity.
Yeah, you can turn the butter, but I don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah,
I have a hard time even pumping up like a paddle board, and then I have to turn the bottle.
Yeah,
butter! My speech impediment just popped out. Butter. There we go.
seems kind of like romantic to churn your own butter or grow your own vegetables.
Romantic.
Like not in like a love sense, but just in like a idyllic sense, you know. But
I mean, yeah. What are we doing? Our next
everyone wants
vision
to churn the
board.
butter.
We're
No one
gonna
wants
do
to sweat and stir for an hour.
We're gonna do a churning butter date on our next vision.
Yeah, that's
You're drawing that square.
I'm using
That's
up one
gonna
of
be
my
on your options on the vision board.
yeah, I'm using up one of my squares.
Yep.
That's funny. Just going back to the age difference thing. I don't know. Being in a relationship with a 4-year age gap. Have you noticed that it's weird or?
I forget a lot.
Yeah, me too. That was more evident to me in the beginning.
Yeah.
It was just little things, and honestly, most of it was like the phone. I just felt like we used our phone in different ways. Like, yeah, even like if I just like if you're next to me on your phone and you're like showing me something, like the way you go from app to app is like I'll still like go to the home screen and like click the app and you're just sort of like it's just like on, you know, it's just like I feel like an old person watching you like.
Ooh, do you remember at Downtown Sounds when that old man, and he was so cute, in the front was like trying to record the band, but I started laughing because the button wasn't pushed and I told you to like go help him, and then you got it off to the photo and to the video, but then you still didn't push the button. So you had to tap on him again and help him again just to get a video. Like he was just confidently standing there holding the phone like he was taking a video, but that he was not taking a video. He was just holding it, you know, and it was literally on the photo settings, and he wasn't pushing any buttons. He wasn't taking any photos.
Do you ever feel like that when I'm using my phone? Like obviously not to the same degree, but I ever sometimes just like, oh my god, why are you doing that? No.
No, never.
It is funny.
I feel like have you ever been on LinkedIn? Do you ever use your phone as like a networking tool?
I mean, I have a LinkedIn. I've always kind of hated that app.
Oh, why don't you like LinkedIn? I don't use it, so I don't know.
I don't know. I just feel like it's pretty fake. Like everyone's always trying to like make it seem like they're like successful and.
Well, yeah, they're trying to get LinkedIn. You're trying to like it's a networking tool.
Yeah, I don't know. I just.
What you gotta do.
On Instagram, I feel pretty comfortable just like keeping it real, like making the caption like something I would actually say.
Yeah.
Like posting pictures that I actually like. On LinkedIn, I feel like I'm posting pictures that I don't like and saying shit that other people want to hear, other than. So I just feel like inauthentic. I'm not a very professional person. Like I've worked in business before, and like I had to use LinkedIn to like reach out to people, and like I literally just 2 days ago there's this guy Cole that he has a marketing agency in Toronto, and I worked with him like 3 years ago or something like that. And I reached out to him. I had found him on LinkedIn, which I didn't even remember, but we connected then. And then, anyways, I sent him an email and we did a Zoom call. And this was just like 3 days ago. So yeah, I mean, I still use it, but I think LinkedIn still says I have my job that I had like 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. Like I haven't updated it since I've been a trainer, since it doesn't really matter in the training world. Mm-hmm. But my goal in life has always been to have a job where I can wear joggers or hoodies, you know.
That's a funny goal.
I always felt like I want to be myself, and that's like whether it's what I say or the pictures I share or the comments I share, the clothes I wear. I just felt like LinkedIn was like my picture on LinkedIn. I think I'm wearing like a button-down shirt.
Well, like even on a job resume, I feel like you're gonna do the same thing you do on LinkedIn. That's what everyone has to do because you're competing against other people.
I was telling you the other day, I never got a job with a resume before.
That's fair. You're more like, I feel like you thrive in social, like, I don't know, you're like good socially.
Yeah,
I know you don't like I always try to talk about Big Brother, but it would be so funny if you understood the show, because it really is like a social experiment, and it's like some people can win literally based on just they can literally lose every single competition, but still win the entire show because of how they played their social game. Or like some can have a horrible social game but win so many comps, and like I mean, I feel like that person, if you don't have a good social game, I feel like you're not gonna make it. Like in the house, I feel like it is such a cool like like it really is a social experiment. And I know I even talked about it on our first date, and then I didn't get a second date for a while. Because you don't get it, but you should just try to watch the show.
was laughing yesterday since we were driving to a different lake, Lake Pad, and we're on Lake Lockram right now. And you went on like a 5 minute Big Brother rant, and and in my mind I was like, oh, man, it's just literally just like our first date. And then for context, I was watching. We went on our first date 3 years ago, 2 years ago, probably 2 years.
Yeah, it was.
We went on one date, and then I think we were both like, I'm pretty sure I texted you after, but like, I don't think either of us thought it was going anywhere. And then so there was no second date, and then like 9 months after that, we went on like 2 or 3 dates, and then I liked you then. Again, I think I was the last one that texted. But then I went to Arizona for a week, and you went to Spokane or Idaho or something. But yeah, I felt like there was 2 weeks where we were just not in the same place, and we'd only been on like 2 dates that round or 3 dates.
Like 4.
But yeah, it kind of killed the momentum. And then 9 months after that, you randomly FaceTimed me.
Well, it's because I saw you didn't like answer one of your texts.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you asked when you want to get together again. I forgot to answer 9 months ago. So
Yeah.
Just checking in.
It is kind of funny. It's how that all worked out. We met on the dating apps, but
we met on like 5 times on 4 different apps.
Yeah.
And I'd like to say 3 times on 3 different apps, which I think is probably true.
Like 3 times each on 3 different apps?
Yeah, because I always say 3 is our number. Like, it took us 3 times to, like, 3 rounds of, like, going on dates to actually start dating. 3 apps, matching 3 times on each app. So, like, that's 3. 3rd time's a charm.
Yeah. I've heard about it in marketing where it's like if you want someone to buy your product, generally they have to like see you on 3 different platforms. Like they have to see your.
I bought your product.
Yeah, you bought my product, but.
And I played on 3 different platforms. Well, probably more than that because
it was TikTok and Instagram too. So really.
5.
Bumble, like, Hinge, Tinder, TikTok.
It's the tongue better.
What?
Magic 3. Just brings off the tongue.
Yeah.
3 different dating apps.
Yeah, it was, and those were where we matched first, and then like once we kind of knew each other, we like followed each other on social. But
where's the sunrise?
It'll come up. It's like straight ahead of us. It's looking good. I'm gonna turn around so that the camera can see. But yeah, I think you've said this too, but I was never super into the idea of meeting my person on the internet.
No,
I mean, like, obviously I'm not opposed to it, but what were your thoughts on that? Like, were you taking it seriously, just like going on
no.
dating app dates? No.
Yeah, I'll see what this goes anywhere.
Yeah. It is interesting how the dating world has changed so much because of the apps. Like Maggie and Chris, my sister and her fiance, met on Hinge. A lot of my friends match with people, or with people from.
I feel like it's more rare to like meet someone in a more like organic. Like.
Yeah. So it's weird how it's like easier to like say something crazy when you're just messaging it, versus like if I saw you in a grocery store, I don't even remember what I said the first time we matched, but I'm sure I would have said something safer. Yeah.
Easy to know if I'm like already dating someone, if you're like hitting on someone in public, or like not on an app where like that's meant for dating.
Yeah.
But I guess some people go on dating apps when they literally already are in a relationship. Or like there's Ashley Madison.
Oh yeah. Watch that documentary, The Infidelity dating app.
It's crazy. I do not support Ashley Madison.
Yeah. Yeah, no Ashley Madison.
Do not endorse Ashley Madison on this podcast.
Is it's still around?
I have no idea.
How about we make a deal? No Ashley Madison in this long distance phase.
Yeah, you're getting broken up with if you're on Ashley Madison. Obviously.
Yeah, I can agree to that deal for sure.
I mean, technically that's for married men, and you're not married, so I don't think you can go on it.
Oh yeah, you have to show your marriage certificate.
I think so.
That's crazy.
I also like. I feel like this kind of goes in the same like. I understand like it's for some people, and I don't really shame. I'm not trying to get canceled on this podcast, but
I promise you that's highly unlikely.
but like I always, in fact, what infatuates me is the idea of like people like wanting and like seeking out like polyamorous, like open relationships. Like I've never seen like the like what's the I'd love to talk to someone in a polyamorous relationship and kind of like see their side of like why they want that.
Yeah,
Because I've always wanted monogamy.
me too. I honestly remember like in that second phase when we went on those 3 dates or whatever, like 9 months before we actually started dating. I remember I said I'm a monogamous person. I distinctly remember this. It cracked me up, but like you were kind of like silent for a second, and then you're like, that just made me smile.
Ew! I didn't say that.
Oh, but
That just made me cringe.
well, I liked it, and I remember it, and that I was like, that was honestly probably like the first moment where I was like, wow, this girl, I like this girl.
I thought it was when I was falling down the hill on that one.
That was like, that was this time around. So like I honestly like we dated, we went on the one weird date and then a couple decent dates, but it was like that moment when you said that just made me smile. That was like when I was like in the time I was going to Arizona the next week, and in my mind I was like, yeah, I'll definitely give this girl a call while I'm gone and try to see her when I get back. It obviously didn't work out until 9 months later, but in my mind. But then we went on a hike, and honestly, that's an interesting part too, just as it pertains to values. And I like to go hiking on this one mountain biking trail, which is like it was created by a professional mountain biker. It's super steep, super loose soil, so it's slippery and it's hard to climb up. You have to like hold on the roots and stuff. And I remember like for me, I go on it a lot, and I'm pretty used to it. But for anyone who's not used to it, it's quite a trek. And there were some parts where you were having to take it slow. And I remember you were like you kind of slipped down and then you stood up and you're like, I got it. I have a growth mindset.
Also cringe.
But I don't know. I really like that in that moment. Like that definitely stood out to me then. But what does that mean to you? What does having a growth mindset mean? Like, or
Just
why is that
like
important
trying again and trying again. And it took me. I was okay. This one girl, I was on the Western Marketing team for like 4 years. And this one girl that was on it for a while. Shout out, she's the best. But she made a comment to me that I was so humbling. She's like, wow, you've been on the team the longest and like done it the most, and you're like the worst one. It was like 3 years ago, but like it took like most people like when they try the like water skiing, like if they don't get up immediately, like they typically don't like join the team or like, which you don't need to be good to be on the team. Um, like it took me like a year to probably like more than a year and I would go all the time to consistently get up on slalom. Like I would do like the other, and I wouldn't even try the trick ski for a while. Like I was just like, nah, I want to. I'm focusing on the slalom or whatever, and like it just means just like even though if you don't get up, first just keep going, like keep trying. Like you can learn anything you want to do. Like there's so many niche sports in the Olympics. I genuinely feel like it doesn't matter your age. If you pick one of those niche sports and you just practice and practice and practice it, you can be an Olympian.
I agree too. I mean, it's
I could be an Olympian if I really tried hard and like okay, not and like let me think of a really like niche one, like not break dancing, that's really hard, but like I could if I tried. There's like what are like the really like niche ones. There's like some niche ones where I'm like kayaking, downhill kayaking.
no
That's actually in the Olympics, and I feel like
what?
yeah, and I feel like if
Downhill
I
kayaking?
yeah.
Like bobsledding?
I don't know. It's in the Olympics. I haven't watched it, but I do
How,
know it's an
like,
Olympic sport. But if I focus on downhill kayaking for just like I really focus and I practice every day, like put me in. I'm ready to get an Olympic medal for America for downhill kayaking.
I'm definitely clipping that.
It's a thing. I'm pretty sure.
So, like, how do you have a hill that's made of water?
I think like I don't know, but it's a sport. I swear. I think. But I forgot what I was gonna say. Something. Oh, I was gonna talk about how our values maybe not align. Well, I think they do align for the most part, but like how we value rules.
How we value what?
Rules, like
Oh yeah.
just like simple, like if a sign says not to do.
Yeah, you're
Or
more like
because
don't.
I thought of it because we were going mountain biking one day, and like you were like, well, the trail said you can't. This like it's for uphill mountain biking only. You can't go downhill, and you wanted to go downhill. I'm so glad we didn't. I would have died. It was way too steep. But I finally was like, we can't go down it because if someone's coming up, we're gonna. It's too narrow, and we're gonna hit them, and they're gonna die, and we can't do that. And you're like, okay with going down it.
Yeah, we were just talking about it on the drive here. I forget even how it came up,
I
but
don't remember that.
yeah, my number one rule is don't break the law when you're breaking the law when you're breaking the law. Zoe actually put me onto that, but her rule is don't break the law when you're breaking the law.
I think yeah.
I had a
I
little
think
more
Zoe's
wiggle
version
room,
is
but
like
you're more,
that.
I think, don't break the law.
Like if you're not wearing like a seatbelt, which you just wear a seatbelt, but then you have to be going the speed limit and you have to like have a valid driver's license and
Yeah,
like and if you're driving and you don't have a valid driver's license, which you shouldn't do that, um, then you should make sure that you're following all the traffic laws.
yeah,
And that your tabs aren't expired, or that you don't have any headlights out.
yeah. I always feel like the rules are a little conservative. Like it's like you can break the rules and still be safe. But obviously, if you break the rules by a lot, then that's when it gets dangerous. But I think the rules are generally there for safety.
And then there could be a thing you're just breaking one rule and you can really get nailed. I don't know.
Yeah, like don't murder. That's like
Well,
that's you don't that's I won't, even though I'll break the law when I'm breaking the law when I'm breaking the law, I won't do it if any of the laws.
and
are
also
breaking
I feel like murdering, I would hope, is against your values. I hope you don't. And if it is, that's scary because I'm in the middle of a lake with you on a kayak.
And I got a roll of duct tape in my pocket.
Oh my god, I'm
stands.
swimming home.
Funny. So going back to the growth mindset thing, like, what is it about the like? Let's just sticking with the water ski example. Like, why were you willing to like?
They wanted to get good.
But like, so do a bunch of other people who try it, and like me, I tried water skiing one day, and I like didn't. I think I stood up for like 3 seconds. It was in Maine. It was really.
You got up the first day you ever tried?
For 3 seconds.
On the slalom?
Is
that the one ski?
No, I had 2 skis.
Oh, okay, never mind.
I literally,
I could get up the first
we went on a boat with some friends.
Yeah.
This was like when I was a kid.
Okay.
And everyone got a turn for like 5 minutes, and
the combos I can get on.
And I was like, and I just never tried it again. Like, I wanted to be able to do it, obviously, the same way you probably wanted to be able to do it. But for me, I was just like fine with letting it go, and it didn't work. But like, what about water ski? Like, why were you like, well, this is pretty uncomfortable. Like, it's cold and it hurts if you fall in the wrong way. Like, it's fun. It's fun.
And it's like, I know that it would get more fun if I got better at it. I just knew that. I trusted the process.
So it's very individual.
And it's like, I'm so happy that I joined that and team, and then it's also like you get like a community out of it. And bye. Is it done?
Battery dead.
Does it save or no?
Yeah, it'll save, but.
All right, cool. Podcast over. I'm happy now.